You are 33 years old. You run, you sleep mostly okay, you eat well enough. You are not the person this happens to. You've always understood, in a vague and comfortable way, that someday your body would change, that there would be a transition, that it would come somewhere in your 50s, maybe late 40s, the way it came for your mother, quietly and late, and after your children were grown. Not now. Not at 33, in the middle of everything, when your career is finally moving and your kids are small, and you are supposed to be in the part of your life that works. But something is wrong. You've known it for 4 months. Not a sharp wrong, a quiet one. The kind that doesn't make you go to the emergency room. The kind that makes you go to Google at midnight and close the laptop, feeling worse than when you opened it.
Your period came 10 days early last month. The month before, it was late. You had night sweats twice in 1 week and told yourself it was the room temperature. You snapped at your husband over something you cannot remember and cried in the bathroom afterward. Not from sadness, just from the release of something that had been pressing against the inside of your chest for weeks. You are 33 years old. You keep returning to that fact like it disproves everything else. It doesn't.
You become very good at explanations. The fatigue is the toddler who doesn't sleep through the night yet. The brain fog is the job change you're still adjusting to. The mood swings are stress, obviously, because who isn't stressed? Because stress is the answer to everything that doesn't have a better answer. The heat that moves through your body in waves, that's the new thermostat in the office. Or the wine you had last weekend. Or the fact that you've been running more and your body is adjusting. You are building a small architecture of explanations, and you live inside it. Because the alternative, the thing you found once at 1 a.m. when you typed your symptoms into a search bar and saw a word you weren't ready for, is too far outside the story you thought you were in. You are 33. That word is for women in their 50s. So you keep building. You cancel plans twice in 1 month because you're too tired to be a person in the evening. You tell your friends it's the kids. You tell your mother you've been busy. You tell your husband you're fine. And he believes you because you've always been fine. Because you have always been the one in this house who is fine. The lies are not malicious. They're protective. You are protecting the version of your life that still makes sense.
You go. It takes you 4 months to go, but you go. You sit in the waiting room with a list on your phone that you almost deleted 3 times because writing it down made it real. Night sweats. Irregular cycle. Fatigue that doesn't lift. Mood shifts that don't match anything happening in your life. Brain fog. Low desire. Heat waves that last 60 seconds and leave you damp and disoriented. The doctor is kind. She is thorough enough. She looks at your age first. You can tell because there's a pause before she speaks. She says it's probably stress. She says these things often normalize. She mentions that you have young children, that this stage of life is demanding, that she'd like to run a thyroid panel just to rule things out.
She does not say the word. You prompt her, gently. You say you've been reading about hormonal changes and ask if it could be related to, and she smiles in a way that is meant to be reassuring and says that at your age, it would be quite early for that, and that hormone levels can fluctuate for all kinds of reasons, and that stress is really the most likely explanation. You leave with a referral for therapy and a handout about sleep hygiene. You sit in your car for 11 minutes. You are not angry yet. Anger requires energy, and you don't have it. You are just very, very tired of being told that the thing you are living inside is probably something smaller than it is.
You find her at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. A woman in a forum. She's 34. She was 32 when her symptoms started. She describes them the way you would describe them. Not from a medical textbook, not from a pamphlet, but from the inside, the way only someone who has lived there can. She got a diagnosis at 34. You read her post 3 times. Then you read the replies. 31 women, ages 29 to 41. All of them saying some version of the same thing. I was told I was too young. I was told it was stress. I was told my levels were normal. I was told to come back in 6 months. 6 months. You think about the 6 months you just lost to explanations you built for yourself and reassurances a doctor gave you in under 12 minutes.
Something shifts. Not despair, though despair is there. Something underneath it. Closer to the feeling you get right before you make a decision you've been avoiding. The particular stillness that comes when you stop arguing with what's true. You are 34 years old. You are not too young. You are never too young. There is no age requirement. Your body does not know what decade you plan to be in when this happened. It just started when it started, which was before anyone told you to watch for it, which is why you spent 14 months believing your own explanations. You close the forum at midnight. You open your calendar. You make an appointment with a different doctor. This time, you bring 2 pages of notes.
She listens. That is the first thing you notice. She doesn't glance at your age and recalibrate her expectations. She doesn't reach for the stress explanation before you finished your second sentence. She reads your 2 pages. She asks follow-up questions. She says the words, perimenopause, hormonal transition, early onset, like they are neutral facts and not diagnoses she's reluctant to make. You ask why nobody told you this could start so early. She says, because most people don't know. Because the research on women's hormonal health is decades behind. Because the average time between a woman first experiencing symptoms and receiving a correct diagnosis is, she pauses, several years. Several years. You do the math quietly. 14 months so far. If you had kept going to the same doctor, kept accepting the same explanations, kept telling yourself you were too young, you understand now how it could have been 4 years, 5. You understand now the women in the forum who said they spent half a decade thinking they were losing their minds. You are not losing your mind. You were losing time.
There is a difference, and knowing it doesn't give the time back, but it changes what you do with what's left. You leave the appointment with a plan, an actual plan, not a sleep hygiene handout, not a therapy referral, a specific, named, actionable next step. You cry in the car again. Different tears this time. Relief looks like crying too, it turns out.
You stop lying. Not all at once. It happens the way most things happen. Slowly, then suddenly. First, you tell your husband. The real version. Not, I've been tired, but I have been managing something significant for almost 2 years without telling you. And I need you to know what it actually is. He sits with that for a moment. Then he asks what he can do. That question, what can I do, undoes something in you that had been wound very tight for a very long time.
You tell your best friend. She goes quiet on the phone in a way that means she's absorbing something. Then she says, I had no idea. And then, I've been having weird cycles too. Should I be worried? You talk for 2 hours. At work, it's different. You don't announce it. That's not what you do, and it's not what the workplace makes easy. But you stop pretending the fatigue isn't real. You stop scheduling yourself into corners. You stop accepting meetings at the end of the day when your brain is running on fumes and your body has already used most of what it had. Small adjustments. Large relief. Your mother calls. You tell her. She is quiet for longer than expected. Then she says she thinks she went through something similar. In her late 30s, she thought it was depression. She never got a name for it. She spent 3 years on antidepressants that helped some things and didn't touch others. You think about what a diagnosis would have meant for her. A name, a framework, options. You think about what those 3 years cost her. You were very quiet on the phone. Something unexpected happened this year. You became someone harder to dismiss. Not harder in the way that requires armor. Harder the way wood is harder after it dries. Denser. More itself. Something about spending 3 years inside your own experience without the language to explain it, and then finding the language, and then using it. That changes how you take up space in a room. You know your body now. Not perfectly, but intimately. The way you know a difficult route you've driven 100 times. You know the signals. You know which weeks require more from the world, and which weeks you can give more back. You know what you need from a doctor's appointment, and you know how to ask for it. You know when something is shifting, and when it's just Tuesday. That knowledge cost you years. It is also quietly a form of power that most women your age don't have yet. You started talking about it, not as a project, just you stopped keeping it out of conversations where it was relevant. A colleague mentioned she hadn't been sleeping. You asked one question. She looked at you like you had said something out loud that she had been thinking for months. You gave her the name of your doctor. You told her the questions to ask. You told her to bring a list and not to leave until the list was addressed. She texted you a week later. 2 words. Thank you. You understood exactly what those 2 words were carrying. Here is what nobody told you. It can start in your late 20s. It can start at 31, at 33, at 36. It does not wait for the age you expected. It does not check your calendar or consult the story you had planned. It starts when the biology starts, which is its own timeline, which has nothing to do with what you were told to expect.
The symptoms do not announce themselves as a group. They come one at a time, spaced out, easy to explain away. The sleep disturbance first, usually, then the mood, then the cycle changes. By the time you have 3 things on the list, you've probably already been managing one of them for a year. You will be told it's stress, more than once, by more than one person. Some of them will be doctors. Nod, take the handout, and find a different doctor. The research on what you are going through is thin and late, and mostly done by people who did not experience it themselves. The normal range on your blood work was not built for the transition you are in. Normal does not mean fine. Ask for the specific numbers. Ask what they mean for someone in your situation. Ask until you get an answer that accounts for you. It is not in your head. It is not anxiety. It is not the kids or the job or the marriage or the decade or the news. It is your biology doing something real. And it deserves a real name. And you deserve a doctor who will say that name out loud without a reassuring smile.
And the last thing, the thing that would have changed everything if someone had said it to you at 33 in the parking lot of a grocery store on an ordinary Wednesday, you are not too young. You were never too young. No one told you it would start this early. But now you know. And now, when the woman at the school pickup, or in the meeting, or on the other end of the phone says she's been feeling off and she doesn't know why, and the doctor said it was probably stress, you will know what to say. Say, "Tell me more. I think I know what this might be." Because someone should have said that to you. And they didn't.